Hello, my name is Rocky Balboa. No, it isn't really. No, my name is AD Hobbs, and this is my review of Rocky II, the 1979 sequel starring Sylvester Stallone. And I believe he directed it as well, yeah. Anyway, the point is, it is what you would call a direct sequel, yeah. And in the opening sequence, what became like a tradition for the other Rocky films, they show, what happened at the end of the previous film. Now, the reason they do this is, because although the video machine had been invented in the 70s, very few people had one. It took a while to catch on, so if you've seen a film 3 years ago, yes, you're going to need a bit of recap to remind you of what happened in the previous one. So that's why they do that. The other reason they show you that is because Rocky II is a direct sequel. It literally takes place just where the other one left off, yeah. So, yes, we see Rocky and Apollo in hospital. So, yes, it was a draw. They both took quite a beating, yeah. And we see the story expand. Rocky marries his girlfriend. And, yes, he's enjoying the money that he was paid, yes, 150 grand. And he buys a nice house, buys a flash car, buys some nice clothes, yeah. So, yes, things are looking good. This great feeling of optimism at the beginning, yeah. But then, of course, the money isn't going to last forever. So what's he going to do for money? He does consider going back to boxing again, but that would upset his wife, because she saw him in hospital, doesn't want him to take a bad beating like that. No, it would upset her if he became a boxer again. So instead he does commercials, and this is where we learn some more about Rocky's character. At first, from the first one, I thought he was a bit of a simpleton. When I saw that he can't even read, oh my goodness, I realised, he's incredibly stupid, yeah. Well, he can read, but nothing above, like, primary school level, yes. And he is, and genuinely embarrassed that he can't read well. Oh yeah, there's just one point. Okay, he can't read very well, and they want him to read from cue cards to do the commercial. If he can't read very well, why didn't somebody else read for him and just get him to learn the lines word for word off by heart like that? Yeah, why not do it that way? Well, because the director insists, no, I only work with professionals, I do it this way, this is the way I do it. Anyway, so doing commercials is out, but he is embarrassed and he learns how to read better, and then after that he gets a job in a meat factory, yes. But he does, however, help Mickey out in the boxing gym, help give hints to potential boxers. So he needs to be near it. Yeah, boxing is his thing. That's what he really likes, yeah. Then he doesn't get fired, but he gets made redundant from his job in the factory. So he says to Adrian, please, I want to go back to boxing, but I want you to be okay with it. And she says, you don't have to be a boxer. You can be anything you want to be. And he says, well, that's kind of the point. Nobody's forcing me to be a boxer. I want to do it, yeah. And then Adrian gives birth to Rocky's baby, but at a terrible price because she goes into a coma from so much pain and she might die. So then, of course, Rocky forgets all about the boxing. What's more important, your boxing career or your spouse? Well, obviously your spouse is much more important. So he's at her bedside every night. He reads to her. Yes, he's getting better at his reading. And, of course, when you read to someone in a coma, that sometimes helps them to wake up. So, yes, he's really worried. He can't sleep some nights with worry, And, he's torn, doesn't know what to do. The boxing career, I mean, he feels guilty because it upset her that he went back to boxing in the first place. And then eventually she does get better, gets out of her coma, and he says, I'll do a different job. If it upsets you, I won't do boxing anymore. And she says she wants him to do boxing again. More than that, she wants him to win, so okay, right, he goes back to his training, yeah. And yes, the training montage is more intense, more brutal than what we saw in the first one. Because Rocky knows Apollo Creed, he knows that, yes, you've got to be bigger and better if you're going to beat him, so he trains much harder than he did before. As does Apollo Creed, he's determined to beat him, because he's been receiving hate mail saying that you're not a genuine athlete, because you can't beat an unknown boxer, you're rubbish, so he's determined to prove to the world this is going to be the real Apollo Creed. So both men determined to beat one another, yeah. So we see a bit more screen time of Apollo Creed than we did before, that's good. The training montage is more intense than what it was before, so it's more than what we saw before, yeah, it's bigger and better, yeah. But I think one of the reasons why Rocky 2 is my favourite one is because it does have some great training, some great action sequences in the big fight at the end, but also it gets really emotional with the characters and the relationship between Rocky and Adrian. So, in other words, it's good emotionally as well as physically, if you see what I mean. Yes, it tells a really good story. I wouldn't have thought such a simplistic saga as Rocky could touch me emotionally, but it did. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was very sad. I thought Adrian might die. It was very sad indeed. Yeah, and but everyone's happy at the end. Yes, finally Adrian's okay with him doing his boxing. The boxing match itself, spoiler alert here, is much more intense than what we saw before. Their faces are so badly battered and everything, and then they punch each other out. So you think it's going to be a different kind of draw this time. It's not they've both won, they've both lost. Yeah. Then eventually Rocky can stand on his own 2 feet, but only for a second. So he does win, but it takes everything he's got. And I think that's what's appealing about the Rocky films, this sheer determination to give it all you've got. And he wins the title, yes, the title of heavyweight champion of the world. So what more could he want? He's got everything he could ever possibly want. He shouts to his wife who's watching on TV, "Yo, Adrian, I did it, yeah." And so yeah, everyone's happy at the end. Everyone gets what they want. Yeah, we learn more about Rocky's character. Either he can't read and he can't drive very well either. Yeah, Rocky is stupid, yes, but his heart's in the right place. Yeah, and as Sylvester Stallone described him, he's like a 14-year-old boy trapped in a man's body. Yeah, he's a very simplistic attitude to things, you know, and he's a bit of a he comes across as a bit of a simple dork that doesn't care about anything, that never will ever better himself. But when he fights, when he boxes, then he really shines. He can do that better than anybody else, yeah. So he's misunderstood. He's not a loser at all. He's made out to be a loser, but he really shines when he boxes, yeah. So Rocky 2, my favourite of the franchise. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm Anthony Hobbs, and I'm never bored.